Today, let's open our violin or viola case and learn all the parts of our instrument. First step is to make sure your case is on the floor in a safe place. You want to make sure that the bump is facing up and the handle is facing you. This makes sure that your instrument does not fall out or land on the bridge when you open the case. Let's open our cases. After you open the lid, examine your instrument. Notice how it is laying flat inside your case. Notice that the strings are facing up and notice where the bow is held in the lid of the case. We are not going to take the bow out of the case today. Carefully, holding your instrument by the neck, lift your instrument out of the case and onto your lap. We're going to learn the parts of our instrument, including a few parts of our instrument that we should not touch. Let's start at the top. This part right here is called the scroll. It's a beautiful piece of carved wood that is a beautiful decoration. You could almost imagine an old piece of parchment wrapped around the scroll. So that's the scroll. Next is the tuning pegs. On your violin or viola, you have 4 tuning pegs, and this is a part that you should never touch. It's very easy to break a string if you don't know how to use the pegs correctly, so please don't touch the pegs. The next part we're going to learn is the bridge. That's this part right down here, this little piece of wood. You can almost imagine tiny little people walking across that bridge. The bridge is another part of your instrument that we should never touch. The bridge is only held on by the pressure of the strings. It's not glued onto your instrument. You should protect the bridge at all times. We want to make sure that we never put our hand over the bridge, we never hold on to the bridge, we never set our instrument down upside down so the bridge is on the floor or the table or up against our body. The bridge should never touch anything, and we should protect the bridge. The next part of our instrument is the fingerboard. That's this long black board underneath of your strings. We will eventually learn how to put our fingers on the fingerboard to make different notes. Now, the fingerboard is not a location to pick up your instrument. It would be like somebody trying to pick you up by your lips. That's not meant to hold the weight of your body. So we do not pick up our violin or viola by the fingerboard. The part where you grabbed onto your instrument when you lifted it out of the case is right here. This is called the neck. This is a wonderful, safe place to hold your instrument. When you hold your instrument around the neck, it's okay for your hand to go over the strings. Always keep the scroll pointing up, never down, and keep that instrument close to your body. So the neck is a great, safe place to pick up your instrument. Let's learn a few more parts. Down here, this part is called the chin rest. Now you might think we're going to put our chin in the chin rest, but guess what? We're not. You're going to put the corner of your jaw in the chin rest, and I will teach you how to do that soon. Another part of your instrument you need to know are called the fine tuners. It's these little knobs down here that connect with each string. Now my instrument only has 1, but your instrument might have 4. This is another part that you are not going to touch yet. This is a way for us to tune our strings. You will be taught how to use them when the time is right. Another part of your instrument you need to know is right down here. This is called the end button. Put your finger on that and say end button. The end button kind of holds everything together. It's got this little cord attached to this part right here, which is called the tailpiece, which is attached to the strings, which holds on the bridge and goes all the way up here, and those strings are wrapped around the pegs. Another part of your instrument you need to know is the back. Turn your instrument around and look at the back. Isn't it beautiful? The wood is so interesting to look at, and everybody's instrument is a little bit different. The back, you'll notice, is curved. It is not flat. So when you have your instrument, it is a good idea to never set your instrument down on a hard surface. It could rock, roll, or spin. The only 2 places your instrument should ever be are in your hands or in the case. Those are the safest places to keep your instrument. Another part of your instrument you need to know are these beautiful fancy holes on the front. These are called the F holes, or the sound holes, and that is where the sound comes out. Another part I want you to know. Hold up your instrument like this, and you're going to look inside those F holes. and you're going to look underneath the bridge for a tiny little stick. That little stick is being held up by the pressure of your instrument. It's also not glued into your instrument. So when you're holding your violin, we need to be extremely careful with it. It's delicate, it is valuable, and it is breakable. We never want to let our violin or viola drop. We don't want to slam it down onto the floor, even if it's in the case, because doing that could dislodge that sound post. And in order to put the sound post back in the exact right place, you must take it to a music store. So we want to be very careful that we never let the sound post fall. It should be pretty easy. If you take very good care of your instrument, it will stay in great working condition for you and you will be able to play beautiful music. All right, it's time for you to review these parts of your instrument. Let's do them together. Start at the top and say the word after me. Scroll. Tuning pegs. Remember, that's a no-touchy part. Bridge. Another no-touchy part. Chin rest. End button. F-holes. The one inside is the sound post. Up here we have the neck, the back, the fine tuners, and of course, our strings. I look forward to our next lesson where we learn the names of our strings. Now before we leave, let's put our instrument safely back into the case. Holding it again by the neck, it might be by the bottom. You're going to set it into the case the same way that you took it out, with the bridge facing up. Here's the most important step. Close the lid and latch the latches. Now you're ready to walk away. See you for our next lesson.